Okay, so if you're an intelligent person, chances are that you've been called a transphobe before. And let's look at the possible reasons why you may have been called one. You may have been called a transphobe if you just simply said that you don't think non binary is a real thing. You may have also been called a transphobe if you don't think that people who are not trans should have to identify as she, her, or he, him. You may have also been called a transphobe if you just simply hate the thousand genders list. You may have also been called a transphobe if you believe that trans trenders, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically people who pretend to be trans just even though they don't have dysphoria, and they do it just to fit in or push the LGBT label even though they're ruining it. You may have been called a transphobe for that. And finally, you may have been called a transphobe if you have simply said that you would not date someone who is trans. So, for example, if somebody who used to be a man is now a woman, and I say I don't want to date that person, I'm considered a transphobe. Now, let's be perfectly clear. The definition of transphobe means that you simply don't like trans people. That's what it means. Regardless of what SJWs tell you it means, that's what it actually means, okay? It's not any of the reasons I listed before. It's not the, lack of wanting to date a trans person. And it's also not... There was a controversy like 5 years ago about Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, in how the female character in the movie was actually a man. And towards the end of the movie, when people find this out, everybody is like, like rubbing their tongue, spitting on the ground, puking. And the reason they're doing that is because those are the guys who actually, made out with this person. But when they found out that she was a man, they vomited because they made out with a fucking man. This movie started being called transphobic. And apparently it's now transphobic to not want to date somebody of the same gender. Let's be perfectly clear. Trans women, or trans men, are not women or men. A trans woman is not a woman. Do you know what you are? You're a fucking trans woman. That's why you call yourself a trans woman, because you're not a real woman. You are a trans woman. Hence the term trans woman. If you were a woman, then you would just say, I'm a woman. But no, you are a trans woman. Now, yes, obviously when your transition is complete, someone like Blair White, you have full right to call yourself a woman. But even someone like her, I have the right to say I wouldn't want to date her. Why? Because she still has her penis. That's why. She is a biological male who still has her penis. And no, I would not want to date a woman who has a penis. And that does not make me transphobic. Okay? It doesn't, because that's not the fucking definition. If I hated Blair for having a penis, that would be transphobic. But the simple act of me saying I don't want to date her because she has a penis is not transphobia. You know what that is? It's called being straight. I hate to break it to you, to all the dumb SJWs, but straight men don't like penises, and straight women don't like vaginas or boobs. You know why? Because we're straight. We like the opposite gender, which includes opposite reproductive organs. Men who are straight are attracted to boobs and vaginas. Women who are straight are attracted to penises. And even if you say, well, I'm a man now, a woman is still not going to be attracted to you if you still have a fucking vagina. Same with a man being attracted to a trans woman. If she still has her penis, I'm not going to be attracted to you. But SJWs will say, that's transphobic. No, it's not. It's called personal sexual preference. Okay? And the same thing applies to people calling Ace Ventura: Pet Detective transphobic. So just because men don't want to make out with other biological men who still have a penis, that's transphobic? No, you see, all you dumb fucks, I hate to break it to you, but what that's really called is personal sexual preference and not wanting to be with somebody or have sex with somebody or make out with somebody who has the same body parts you do if you're straight. That's not transphobia. It's called personal preference. And yes, I'm aware that personal preference is not allowed anymore, but that's what it is. Anyway, you might be wondering what the hell I have on the screen here. A social media trend has people identifying as super straight. The transphobic campaign was meant to divide LGBTQ people. Now, if you haven't heard about this, I'll give you a quick summary. Basically, somebody on TikTok made up a joke. It was a joke that exploded, where he said, well, if I don't want to date a woman who has a penis, I'm just going to call myself super straight so that I don't get called transphobic. And that video was considered transphobic, of course, and exploded. This is what people have to do now. Apparently, it's not good enough for me to say, I'm a straight man, therefore I would prefer if my girl did not have a penis. That's now considered transphobic. So what some people did as a joke is say, okay, fine, I'm super straight. Do you get it now? Anyway, that's the true meaning of transphobia. This concept here that somebody made up as a troll was funny. It may have been a little ridiculous, but it was still funny. But you know what? You pushed people to do that. Because if I'm not allowed to fucking say I don't want to date a woman with a penis, then yeah, I'll just call myself super straight and hope you understand that way. I want a woman who also has a vagina. I know, it's fucking wacky to imagine that today, but that's the reality. Straight men don't want penises, and straight women don't want vaginas. I know, crazy. And again, to reiterate, trans women are not women. Trans women are trans women unless you have fully made your transition, you've done the estrogen pills, the hormone replacements, you've had surgery to change your body, then you're a woman. Although still technically you are a biological male and you should inform your partner of that. But if they don't want to date you, it's not transphobic. It's just their personal preference. Get the fuck over it.